My name is Honorable Kalejaiye Paul, PhD. I represent Ajeromi Felodun Federal Constituency, the mini Nigeria. I'm from Lagos State, the state of aquatic splendor. I rise this afternoon to move a motion as ably tagged by Right Honorable Speaker on the need to implement the Nigerian Police Act of 2021 to expand the academy to multiple campuses across the 6 geopolitical zone. Note that the Nigerian Police Academy Act...
Correction, is that what we have on the other paper? 6 geopolitical zones, you cannot read anything that is contrary to what has been captured. So please...
What we have here is to expand to other parts of the country.
Fantastic.
But in the body, it's so specified. I'll get there. Note that the Nigerian Police Academy Act provides for the establishment, development, and expansion of the Nigerian Police Academy as a degree awarding institution for the teaching and education of officers of the Nigerian Police Force. Also note that Section 3 of that Act, under the oversight of the Governing Council, empowers it to establish such campuses, colleges, faculties, institutions, schools, and units within the academy as may be necessary or desirable, subject to the approval of the National Universities Commission. Observes that the Governing Council of the Nigerian Police Academy is chaired by the Minister of Police Affairs. Worried that despite this provision, as provided in Section 3 of the Act, the Nigerian Police Academy continues to operate a single campus across the country as establishment in Wudil in Kano State. In line with these provisions and cognizant of the need to establish more campuses, which will provide inclusiveness and strengthen capacity of Nigerian Police Academy to train officers effectively. Resolved to 1, call on the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, who is also the visitor to the Academy, to recognize the importance of establishing additional campuses in 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. 2, all the Governing Council of the Nigerian Police Academy to immediately commence implementation of the provisions of this Act. 3, also all the Nigerian Universities Commission to so recognize these additional campuses to be created. And 4, mandate the Committee on Police Institution, Police Affairs, University Education, and Appropriation to collaborate with the Governing Council of the Nigerian Police Academy to effectively implement this motion. I so move. Thank you.
Speaker of the 10th Assembly, the People's Speaker of this 10th Assembly, my respected colleagues, my name is Engineer Aderemi Abbas Oseni. I represent the entire people of Ido-Ibarapa East Federal Constituency. I am from Oyo State. I rise this afternoon to second the motion on the need to implement the provision of the Nigerian Police Academy Act 2021 to expand the academy to multiple campuses across the country, as ably raised by my brother and a friend, Honorable Kalejaiye Paul, PhD. I so second.
Contributions for and against the motion. So it's up to us to decide whether this motion is the right one at the
Of the parliament. The parliament is about debate. It's a culture of debate. You advance your own position, I advance my own position, and at the end of it all, you just oppose the pros and cons of the argument and then see the level of reasonability in terms of the arguments and discussions, and then the House takes a decision. So for me, I'm not surprised about the long argument about the position of the motion. It was a well thought out motion, and the real sense of it, I first of all wanted to move it as a bill, but after studying the Act, the Nigerian Police Academy Act, established in 1921, I realized that rather than bring another amendment to the bill, why don't we strengthen the bill so that we don't necessarily scrap or amend a bill that will also serve the same purpose by way of motion. So I ended up moving the motion. So it's just normal.
All right. What do you have to say about the opposition? Let me put it that way, of the motion. What do you have to say about their insights concerning the motion or their perspective?
Well, I can't enter into them, but I can only judge by what they said. And some of the arguments they advanced, the opposing views, was the fact that the existing one is not well equipped, not well funded. So that's why it lacks the capacity, or it does not have the capacity to accommodate large numbers of studentship. And from that argument, you can see some flaws in the argument. If you don't have enough facilities to accommodate the expansion that is needed to attend to the challenges of the Nigerian police, today, the average number of a police officer to a Nigerian is alarming. The ratio of a policeman to one man is so unbelievable because the police are not adequate. So if they are not adequate, why do you have them that they are not adequate? And two, you also want to understand that that academy is one that trains graduates. They are the middle level manpower, I would say, or the high level manpower of the Nigerian police. And we must also begin to wipe out some level of low academic input into the Nigerian police force. If you have well-educated people in the Nigerian police force, you get a better Nigerian police force. But today, all the colleges that we have police college everywhere, but they're only training the low manpower. And you can understand the implication of that. So we must increase the number of high-level manpower that we train. And except we expand the campuses to other zones so that we can have input from other zones who are the highly skilled people who can also join the Nigerian police and get trained, highly, and then they can take over some of the challenges that the Nigerian police are facing today.
So if we look at insecurity in Nigeria, how will this help to ameliorate this problem?
It's very obvious that why do we have insecurity? One of the major challenges is that the number of police cannot even cope. They cannot cope with the level of insurgency that we have. If you, for instance, in a police station, what we call the divisional police station, they have maybe 20 members,
20 Nigerian police officers who are working there. And the bandits are coming in hundreds. How do you confront them? The fight against insurgency is both physical, technologically driven, and of course mechanically driven. And I analyze the three. You must have the facilities in terms of equipment, the vehicles, the arms and ammunition to be able to cope. The third most important one is the manpower. You can't deploy 2 or 3 police officers to face insurgency. You need large manpower. And then we're not talking about large manpower, you need intellectual manpower. Not those who just rush to the scene of that. And we all know that we have paucity of funds as a nation. So I understand the arguments. But the question is, those arguments cannot surpass the importance of maintaining security. Security is the first law, it's the first order. You understand what I'm saying? So, for me, paucity of funds must not debar the protection of life. It's a fundamental principle of governance. That's the first fundamental principle of state policy about governance. You must be able to secure your people. That's the first basic thing. So whatever security will take, you downplay other factors and fund security. So for me, yes, government may not be able to do it, fund it adequately, but then it's not as if government cannot prioritize it. And secondly, the involvement of the private sector may not be possible. Why it may not be possible? Because it's about security. But they can also assist, private sector assist in terms of provision of land, in provision of accommodation and what have you. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't think, I also know there are police colleges everywhere that are underutilized. So you can turn some of these police colleges into academy. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to set up new, establishment. You can leverage on the existing facilities and upgrade some of the police colleges into police academy. And we're not saying establish in all states of the federation. We're saying in 6 geopolitical zones. We already have a 1 zone. So we're talking about 5 other zones. And the idea is to encourage inclusivity, to allow for other regions to also partake. Why must everybody go to one particular place? Remember that the law school used to be in Lagos only. Today it's operating in almost all the 6 geopolitical zones of the Federation. So if the law school can be decentralized, so why don't we decentralize the police academy?
So are you saying that this motion is kicking against the federal character principle? Because if they are complying to the federal